So we got Boruto episode 187, and oh my god, this episode went crazy. This episode was some heat, man. Boruto has finally awakened his Karma Seal. After getting it debuted in the manga almost 3 years ago, we finally get to see it adapted into the anime, and I'm not gonna hold you, that shit looks clean. But before we get into Boruto's Karma Seal and how he awakened it, we gotta talk about Kashin Koji versus Konohamaru. What I like about this fight is that the anime actually decided to expand this fight overall, because in the manga, this fight only lasted about 3 pages. It was first Konohamaru throwing a punch, then using Rasengan, which cancelled out with Kashin Koji, and then he got set on fire. However, the anime decided to really expand this fight. However, Konohamaru did get washed. He got faded so badly by Kashin Koji. But you know what? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, considering this is Kashin Koji. I'm not gonna say any manga spoilers, but you guys already know just how strong Kashin Koji is. He is an inner member of Kara for a reason, so I'm gonna cut some slack for Konohamaru, considering just how strong Kashin Koji is. Kashin Koji already bodied Victor and Ao. He already bodied 2 Kara members already up to this point, and Konohamaru, he doesn't really scale to someone like Victor, so I'm gonna cut some slack for Konohamaru. And I do want to say Konohamaru did hold his own. Despite getting washed in the end, he did hold his own. He was able to go blow for blow with Kashin Koji. Despite getting hit to the ground multiple times, he got up and kept fighting, which, you know what, I gotta give my respect for that dude, because as much as we clown on Konohamaru, he definitely did his thing. He tried holding his own against someone like Kashin Koji, and you know, I don't think he deserves any slander in this fight. He's fighting someone like Kashin Koji. We already know what he does in the manga. This guy is an absolute monster, and we do see him in this fight summon a Toad and a Rasengan. And of course, like I said, I'm not gonna say any manga spoilers, but he does relate to a very certain character, a very specific character that played such an important role to Naruto back in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. And I do want to mention that some Boruto fans, they did have some problems with this episode, especially with the animation. The animation for this episode looked a little bit choppy, kind of dull, I'm not gonna lie. However, I just found out only a couple hours ago that this episode was actually outsourced. It wasn't made by Studio Pierrot. If you don't know who Studio Pierrot is, they are the people who actually animate Boruto. However, this episode was outsourced, which means another small studio made this episode. A different studio actually animated this episode, which I'm not gonna lie, for an episode that was this important to portray Boruto's true power of showing the Karma Seal, it's a little bit disappointing. However, Studio Pierrot is probably saving their budget for Kawaki, who I'm going to talk about later in this video, since Kawaki is going to show up in the next couple of episodes. But I would like to say, after Kashin Koji roasted the hell out of Konohamaru while using that fire style jutsu that literally cannot be countered by regenerative jutsus, Boruto awakens his Karma Seal. After Kashin Koji used a sealing jutsu on the rest of Team 7, Boruto awakens his Karma Seal when he sees that his sensei is about to be killed by Kashin Koji. This is crazy because Boruto has witnessed 2 deaths in the same day. He first saw Mugino die, and then he saw Ao die. You gotta remember, in the beginning of this episode, Kashin Koji did kill Ao. He did summon a Toad, which eventually killed Ao after he jumped down. And what I like about this is that Ao, he actually accepted his fate as a shinobi. He died as a shinobi. We saw last episode Boruto use that Talk no Jutsu on Ao, and Ao realized who he is as a person. He has to continue on living. So when Kashin Koji jumped down with that summoning Toad on top of Ao, Ao used a water style jutsu to save Boruto, thus sacrificing his life for Boruto and ultimately getting killed. Which, you know what, I gotta respect Ao for that, because his ideologies changed, his philosophy changed overall. And I really like how the anime did a really good job in this episode as well, especially with Boruto's Karma Seal, because Kashin Koji, he was surprised as hell. He was like, damn, Boruto got karma too? Like, he was really surprised. And that's what really changed his mind, because if Boruto did not have karma, everyone would have died. Kashin Koji would have bodied the rest of Team 7, including Katasuki as well. Everyone would have got absolutely destroyed, considering just how strong Kashin Koji is. And for him to body Team 7, it definitely would have happened if it weren't for Boruto awakening his Karma Seal, which I gotta say, looks fire as fuck. He looks so clean, man. Boruto looks so clean in the Karma Seal. So when Kashin Koji decides to leave, the rest of Team 7 decides to head back to the village. And this is where Chamaru, Katasuki's dog, he sniffs out some of the puppets that were left at the airship. And this is where they find some puppets far away from the airship. And they notice something with these puppets that were from the airship, and the fact that they were absolutely destroyed. In Boruto episode 184, Team 7 also did fight these puppets, and they did have a hard time fighting against these things. They struggled a whole lot, and if it wasn't for Katasuki, they probably would have died. And the fact that someone destroyed these puppets in such a crazy way, they were definitely surprised. And even Konohamaru said that, yo, whoever destroyed these puppets, they got crazy power. And this is where Mitsuki finds someone on the ground. The rest of Team 7 climb the cliff to see who's on the ground, and that is where we see Kawaki. And oh my god, and this This is where the episode ends with Boruto looking at Kawaki's hand and realizing that Kawaki also has the Karma Seal. And oh my god, these next couple of episodes are about to get hype. Like, we have finally made it. Like, we have waited years for Kawaki to appear. We have waited years for Boruto to awaken his Karma Seal. It's about time we get to this. Like, I am so hyped for next week. This episode was great as well. Also, I do want to mention there was a scene included with the Kara members. Amado was doing a checkup on the inner members by looking at his computer, and he also said while on his computer that Kashin, Koji, and Boro were the only inner members that haven't got a checkup yet. And of course, at this point, the Kara members are trying to find out who is the traitor among the inner members, because Jigen does suspect that there is a traitor within the inner members of Kara. And while Amado left his desk to get some more coffee, Delta goes on his computer to find out who the traitor is, trying to get more information. This is where she discovers that Code has nothing to do with this and that Kashin Koji hasn't got a checkup yet, so she also suspects that Kashin Koji is also the traitor of the Kara organization. And we also get a scene with Code where he's looking at a bunch of test tubes, and it does look like he's jealous. He does say a statement where he says, "Why does it always have to be him?" And my manga readers already know he is referring to Kawaki. We already know, especially after the latest Boruto chapter, that line does hit a little bit different, especially after reading that latest Boruto chapter. But let me know what you think about this episode. I think this episode was great. The animation was a little bit choppy, but I'll give the anime some slack considering they're probably saving their budget for the next couple episodes with Kawaki. We saw Kawaki at the end of this episode. We saw him in the preview. We're gonna get a backstory as well. These next couple of episodes for the Boruto anime are about to go crazy. So let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section below. What do you think about the Kashin Koji fight? And are you guys ready to see Kawaki finally being in the anime? So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.